I actually did it in Hamburg in
Okay.
a company called German Aerospace Center. So it
Super.
is very equivalent to how ISRO works in India. So I was
Super.
very lucky in that case. The reason is again the professor thing here, which you linked
Mm,
back. So
mm.
my professor had good connections with Saab and visiting scientists. So there was one day a visiting scientist coming from Hamburg, from German Aerospace Center, giving a lecture. So me and my friend just introduced ourselves and asked for an internship and a thesis opportunity. And he never said no. He said, "Okay, you're showing interest. Please just drop a mail. I'll talk with my team and get back to you." Let me start with what is the difference. In bachelor's, you have all theoretical in India, mostly paper based. You write endless 20, 30 pages of answers just to get, okay, out of 100 marks. But when I first was introduced to exam pattern in Sweden, a lot of difference. First thing is they use technology. For example, we start coding in MATLAB, Python, and other subjects just to solve the mathematical problems which you see in aeronautical. It's not just that coding is only for software people. You also get indulged in every other things like automation and other things. And exams, it was like the professor just wants to know that you have understood the concept. He doesn't want to arrive at the final answer. If you understand, you can apply it in the real world. I got a part-time job in a company. So I worked in a company as a design engineer again, in a company for 1 year with my studies. So I also got industrial experience, also work. So if you get opportunities like this, please do have it. I worked as a design engineer in the same company. I'm still working as design engineer. It's been one year, 2 months I would say now. I've worked for 9 months as design engineer and now as technical manager and designer. It's called Sterling Dynamics. We mostly work, it's an engineering service company. So we work with different airlines, aircraft manufacturers, only into aviation. When we decided, or me and my friends started talking, okay, let's apply for masters. We started searching online and we found Europe Study Center to be one of the options. And later on, we met Sujita ma'am. She's a gem of a person.
Sure.
She supported us, she guided us. Also, Kavita ma'am from the same institute from Bangalore.
Yes.
That's how I would say Europe Study Center ignited the fire, I would say.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, all of you. My name is Shivaraman, Director of Europe Study Center. Today, we are going to interview our student, Nikhil, whom we had sent to Sweden for his master's and currently working in Germany. Nikhil, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Super. Thank you so much for coming to our show. Kindly introduce yourself to our audience.
I'm Nikhil Bhargav. I finished my bachelor's in mechanical in Nitte University. It is in Udpi. And then I pursued my master's in aeronautics in systems and design in Linköping University in Sweden. And I'm currently based in Hamburg now for my work.
Okay, super. So which company you're working right now? What designation?
I work in a company called Sterling Dynamics. I work as a design engineer and recently have been working as technical manager for the past 2 months.
Wonderful. Congratulations. And it's a short as well as a successful your journey you have introduced to us. And so we are going to fragment, all the different stages, bachelor's, master's, then your professional life. So first to start with, I asked the same question in my previous interview also. Many people, irrespective of the bachelor's, whatever they study, Nikhil, they jump into IT. So what made you to choose, what made you to see something which is very common nowadays has become a question. So why did you stick on to mechanical?
I would say the main reason is from my father. He's a very passionate mechanical engineer. That's how I got interested in taking up mechanical. And he did MBA and other things after his bachelor's. But I wanted to go further with mechanical or aeronautical. So that's how I took up mechanical.
Super. That is, whatever we study in bachelor's, we spent 4 years of our lifetime. We study some subject and overnight we trash it and we jump into something else.
Yeah.
If they don't like that particular subject, Nikhil, pushing that aside is a different story. But they really love that particular subject. But without proper clarity and direction, they take different decisions. And then what moment you decided, bachelor's is not enough, I want to do my master's? What moment?
To be honest, masters was not the first choice. I had other things like SSB exams, going into Air Force or the armed forces as an engineer. But
Super.
later on, I thought, okay, if not, I would also support on the background studying the same thing. If
Okay.
I cannot enter into these things, let me do a master's, specialize in aeronautics, and support at any given point, something like that.
So that's why you had chosen to specialize in aeronautical for your
Yeah.
post graduation. It's a very smart choice, Nikhil. Uh, because you studied bachelor's mechanical, master's aeronautical. When it comes to the employment, you can apply for different sectors. That
Yeah.
way,
It,
it maximizes your job opportunities.
because when they look at your profile, they see both mechanical and aeronautical. It's like you get a wider industrial grasp
Yes.
to apply to.
Yes. Yes, perfect. That's why, Nikhil, nowadays, as you may know, we send hundreds of students for the bachelor's. I never recommend aeronautical at UG level, 99%.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
all specialization courses. So then coming to the next aspect, okay, you plan to decide, you decided to do your master's. Did you look into other countries or you were looking only into Europe right from day one?
No, only into Europe.
Any
Uh,
specific reason again?
Nothing specific. It was mine and my friend also. We both applied through Europe Study Center, and
Okay,
we wanted to apply only for Europe because of the work culture and the stories we have heard, uh,
okay.
everything else.
Wonderful, wonderful. I guess right from your younger days, you were very specific and you were very clear with your options and selections, I guess. No looking back from there.
Yeah, I would say.
Super. So then, how did you find Europe Study Center? How did you get to know about us?
When we decided, or me and my friend started talking, okay, let's apply for masters. We started searching online, and we found Europe Study Center to be one of the options. And
Okay,
later on, we met Sujita ma'am.
okay.
She's a gem of a person.
Yeah, sure.
She supported us, she guided us. Also, Kavita ma'am from the same institute from Bangalore.
Yes, 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 yes,
So
yes.
that's how I would say Europe Study Center ignited the fire, I would say.
Wonderful. Happy man. This is my 16th year. And, to listen to all these from my young students or young professionals, I should say, I should not call you no longer students. You are zoned out from there. It really motivates because this is my 16th year in this industry. As you rightly know, Nikhil, nobody else promotes Sweden. You know why?
Don't know.
Any reason? Nobody promotes this Sweden, Germany, Netherlands, Norway, Finland. No, everybody promotes US, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada. You know the
Oh,
reason?
for application, I don't know. For the Nordic countries, probably the weather. No.
What weather? Canada is even more colder. You know,
Yeah.
you, Nikhil, you somehow brainwash a child. Okay, somehow push them into this Australia or New Zealand or US or Canada. Minimum profit is 2.5 lakhs per student, brother.
Mm, okay.
From the tuition fees your father pays to the university.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, okay, that is also fine. But do they join the premier university in that country? No,
Mm, yeah.
no. A consultant promoting UK, Nikhil, will not promote Oxford, Cambridge, or London School of Economics. Naya
Yeah.
paisa commission they will not give. They promote
Yeah.
that country's chota mota universities. That's where the problem starts.
Yeah.
Super.
Also, it holds lesser equivalence when we study with a really good university, public universities. You
100%,
really,
see, 16 years building so many success stories only because we send students to the premier universities in that particular country. So you learned about Europe Study Center online. So which all countries did you apply for?
it was mainly for Sweden and Netherlands, just two
Super,
countries.
super. So obviously Netherlands, the top universities, Sweden also the top universities. So what all universities you applied in Sweden?
In Sweden, I remember applying for KTH, Chalmers, and Linköping University.
Linköping. Easily the top premier universities for technical courses in
Yeah.
Sweden, and I would also say, like, Linköping is an amazing choice. I also studied there. That's a different story. We will come to that later. So, what course you opted for in Linköping? What university you got admission basically, and which course?
Uh, I was admitted in Linköping University for aeronautics, and later on you can specialize in one of the tracks. So I chose systems and design in aeronautics.
Systems and designs under the aeronautics specialization. Correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, super. And aeronautics falls under the mechanical department
exactly. Yeah,
in Linköping. So
yes,
that makes all the more synergy and equivalence to your bachelor degree and all these aspects.
yeah.
Yes. See, we kind of, to a certain extent, we always train the members at Europe Study Center with all these engineering topics and parameters, because many agents and consultants, do not know the difference between biomedical and biotechnology.
Yeah,
So I'm not telling we are experts in engineering and all those things, but at least you should know what the child is eligible and what the child is not eligible. So
true.
then I think Sweden is a straightforward visa process, right? No headaches, nothing. All went smooth for you.
Yeah, it was very smooth actually in Sweden because they're the top ladders for digitalization. So everything is digital, unlike some other countries like Germany probably, which you have to take a lot of files, papers, and other things. Sweden is unlike that. It was very fast. Yeah.
Super, super, wonderful. So then you reached Linköping for your aeronautical course. So that, how was the first semester?
Oh. For me, coming from a mechanical background directly to a master's in aeronautical was tough. uh, like subjects like computational fluid dynamics,
CFD.
aerodynamics, and stuff like that, which I don't study in mechanical because it's not a part of mechanical, it's aeronautical bachelor's. So I had to put in more hours, but it was fun. You know,
Fun. I liked what you said. It's a challenge, I agree, but I will work towards it and win it, right? As
yeah,
simple as that.
yeah,
No pain, no gain. You
no
have
gain.
to get uncomfortable to be comfortable in the future.
Yeah,
Like how you sit in Hamburg and work in your organization related to your studies, all because of the foundation laid, basically.
yeah.
So anything that you have to change in your learning pattern, because back home in India, we learn differently. We prepare for the examination differently. But at
Yeah.
Linköping, Sweden, you prepare and learn differently. So kindly enlighten us what all changes you made to your learning pattern.
Oh, let me start with what is the difference. In bachelor's, you have all theoretical in India, mostly paper based. You write endless 20, 30 pages of answers just to get, okay, out of 100 marks. But when I first was introduced to exam pattern in Sweden, a lot of difference. First thing is they use technology. For example, we start coding in MATLAB, Python, and other subjects just to solve the mathematical problems which we see in aeronautical. It's not just
Super.
that coding is only for software people. You also get indulged in every other things like automation and other things. And exams, it was like the professor just wants to know that you have understood the concept. He doesn't want to arrive at
Yes.
the final answer. If you understand, you can apply it in the real world. So that's the major difference I found.
Yes. Yes. Wonderful. So the actual learning is to learn and to get to the bottom of the subject. So conceptually, you're strong, not
Yes.
theoretically. That's why we don't have to write 44 pages, memorize, mug up. And the moment we finish examination, we forget everything. that doesn't that doesn't happen here. So how did the examinations go basically? Was it theoretical or oral examination or assignments or a combination of all these things?
It was a combination of everything. For example, few of the subjects we didn't have exams at all. It was yeah, weekly assignments or monthly assignments, which we had to submit with a report saying what we performed. So the professor would give a real task, and some other tasks would be to perform something on the simulation side of it because I took
Oh,
some simulation. So you would have to
super.
submit that saying I performed this and what is the reason of performing it. So that would be the criteria. And few of them Even if it is paper based, it was fun. It would not be for 3 hours or something. It would be for 40 minutes or 1 hour where you answer few things. There would be other pictorial representation asking what is it and reason, for example. It is not just in India, we would vomit the answers, just spill out the answers and come. You will not remember what happened afterwards. But here you will know why did I answer that something more closely like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is why I started to do these interviews, Nikhil. Without understanding what is the problem, how do you find solutions? When
Yeah.
somebody comes up to me, tells me, oh, you are going to study engineering, you are not going to get employed, I really get irritated nowadays. You know, see, without having any sort of understanding or fundamentals, blindly putting out a
Mm.
statement and misguiding the young minds, I
Yeah.
just cannot take it. As a person, whatever possible, contributing this particular segment and guiding these students to top public universities. So then I always say to students, it's only lack of skills. Do not believe in lack of jobs. And skill development, you can do it in a top public university in a developed country with excellent professors. What do you say about that?
Oh yeah. Uh, I remember when I was first introduced for MATLAB, for example. It's a mathematical coding software where it's analytical based. I didn't know how it worked because we were not taught in our bachelor's to use MATLAB or any other softwares, for example. So he started just for people who didn't know, for example. He guided us on how to use it and how to use it for your particular applications, for example. So professors are more open to your questions. So they listen to you completely and try to figure out where they can help you for each individual, for example. So we could book meetings with them on a weekly basis if we have any issues, or we had for example, in Linköping, we had a student council where they support if you have any problems in skill sets or something, they would also support you for that. I think you would know that. So they would guide you towards the right professor to study and get inputs from them. So it was really nice.
See, when it comes to Sweden, the Swedish culture or the professors or the university, see, they always keep supporting for the people who are committed,
Yeah.
who are transparent, who are open. I know this, I don't know this. They don't want this beating around the bush, not being punctual, not being focused. We will just be discarded.
Yeah.
Very simple. Focus to the point. That's going to be amazing. And I know anyway, but as I'm your interviewer, I have to ask these questions. So, how good were the professors at Linköping University?
Oh, really good. Both in understanding perspective, this is not technical, just to understand the students and communicate with them, and also on the technical basis. So they have good enough experiences to impart what is on the industrial side and what you need on the educational side, so that when you complete your education, you are fit to go to industry directly.
Super.
So that's something which I felt was really important, because
Important, right?
there were few professors who were adjacent professors. They're not just professors, so they work at the industry and also teach here. So it's wisdom from both the sides for them imparting on us. So how
That's
is it running on the commercial side to the educational side? So yeah.
yes. I finished my degree almost 15 years back at Linköping, and I follow all my professors in LinkedIn. In a month, at least, I see them publishing 2, 3 articles, all super technical ones and really futuristic.
Yeah.
So, with these professors, when we sit and study, it's a lot of motivation. That's why on a comical note, I used to say, when you see excellent professors, when you are in their lecture, automatically your hand goes like this and you start listening. And when you get to listen to professors without fundamental knowledge or just memorizing from the book, from here the hand automatically
Yeah.
goes like this. See, nothing to
Yeah.
hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Parents spend their life savings into education. Okay.
Yeah.
They cannot be fooled at any day, any cost. And the
Mm.
child, I believe, every child on this earth deserves high quality education. But that has become a luxury right now. Even
Yeah.
to an extent where, Nikhil, where you pay money also, you don't get high quality education. That's even more bad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. For example, if you look into Linköping, wherever, they hardly take few hundreds of students from India every year. That's all. Not even few hundreds, I would say. Like entire Sweden, if you take like, maybe few hundreds, entire Sweden. But whereas you look at one single university in UK, US, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, thousands and thousands of students.
Yes. I
No
think
individual focus. And, they spend a hell of a lot of money and do all these things. And finally, the learning outcome also is very low. And finally, they blame whom? Oh, going abroad is waste. This country is waste. That country is waste. Any country you go, you have to study in that country's premier university. Kindly talk more about, the professors' knowledge, the articles they publish, and how they impart their knowledge that they gained at the industries through the curriculum.
So I had taken a subject called systems. So I had visiting professors from I think you will know Saab. So it's like
Yes.
so it's a company which does both commercial and as well as military aircrafts in
Yes.
Sweden.
Cars also.
So cars, yes, but they have stopped after a long years.
Long years, okay.
Uh, so we had professors from them, and for me, it was very close to the industry. So, for example, I'm studying aeronautics, and people from there are coming to come here and teach us. So, we had a subject called aircraft conceptual design, where they give you a task and we design an aircraft. And we, on a textbook level, we design something, and then we present to the professor. They say, okay, you are doing this, but in the real world, it is not applicable because of so reasons. Can you please change it like this so that it's applicable? And when we do that, we see the real reason.
Real
Okay,
reason.
we had not considered X and Y Z factors here. So that X and Y Z are from the real world, which they are telling us what is missing in your calculations, for example. So I would say
Super.
that is the knowledge level which the professors will have in general.
Exactly. So to make it even more clear for the audience, or if at all some school students are watching this, in books you all have this old school fundamentals, formulas, concepts, and everything. Professors tells you what happens at the ground level and what all modulations and changes you need to make to your prototype so that it can solve real world problems. That's it.
Yeah.
As simple as that. Because somebody, even if they have completed PhD, postdoc, just by reading books, I feel it's of no value. You have to be, real time on the ground practicing this engineering, then teaching the young minds, right?
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah. And, just the focus is where is your record note, where is page number, why you have not marked it in blue pen, red pen, where is your observation, where is your ID card, why is your hair colored? When are we going to come out of this, Nikhil? What do you think?
Funny thing, I remember writing records in school and engineering. I felt, to be honest, it is not really useful at one point. Writing endless records, pages, drawing. Because here, for example, it's the same thing even here. When you have labs, you have to write something, but it's not like the ones within India. They say,
Exactly.
they give you specific tasks, what you understood. That's all. It's just to understand to the professor that we have understood the concept and we can really use it. It's not
Yes.
writing 10 pages of record for one lab, for example.
See, pointless. Nowadays, we are in a digital world. Why do we write record notes? Nobody knows. We have to write. All their agenda is to keep the students busy, it seems. Uh, see, that's what they say. And who is going
Yeah,
to change all these things? See, why we do these interviews? To enlighten people, to explain people why we should not do these things and why we should do these things. In the time of writing these record notes, they can teach MATLAB at undergraduation, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, they learn MATLAB at the first semester in their undergraduation. Here, we don't know what is MATLAB. This is the reality. And these are the souls who are going to complain mechanical engineering is not good, aeronautical is not good, I'm not getting employed, my salary is only 15,000. Boss,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
That's how it is. You learn mechanical, you get to the bottom of it, mechanical will give you everything back, or any of his subdomains, basically. Super.
Yeah.
So tell us about the infrastructure at Linköping, the laboratories, And also a small note about the underground tunnel that we have in our university, which connects all the buildings.
Ah.
Yeah.
Starting with the lab thing. So mine was mostly into computer simulations, designing and other
Super.
things. So I mostly worked in computer labs, and they have good number of labs, many facilities, all the upgraded, I would say technology, they're upgraded to everything. So you don't have deficiency or inefficiency in anything, I would say. Um, and also they have something called as Iron Bird. It's one of a kind in Sweden. So it's where
Okay.
the aircraft rig testing goes on the
Okay.
control surface. It's a very technical stuff, but also getting hands-on experience on those things are really good in this
Amazing.
perspective when you learn a subject.
Amazing.
Underground tunnel, yes, it was the best thing because you know the nice winter we have in Sweden. I
Yeah.
would not call it harsh, but it is really nice. Swedish people have a saying: "It's not the bad weather, it's the bad clothing." It's a very famous statement. So, but whenever we wanted to go to different blocks, for example, from C block to D block, we would never go outside. We would go inside the tunnel, climb up the stairs. That's the best thing which the Linköping has sometimes.
Yeah. The world's only top public university having an underground tunnel connecting all the buildings, right from
Yeah,
still the McDonald's is there. That was the start.
yeah.
Right after McDonald's, you have this mechanical department.
Yes, we have the mechanical buildings, and then comes the economy and other things. But
Then slowly we go until the Zenith building, Key building,
yeah,
so and so forth, everything connected with an underground.
yes,
Super. So you made a lot of friends during your studies from different countries, Nikhil?
yes. I stayed in a student corridor, so
Okay.
you get to meet a lot
What
of
was the place
international.
name? What was the place name?
Ritz Alley. I don't know if you know
Wow,
it.
man. I stayed in Ritz Alley 21, second
I
floor.
stayed in Ritz Alley 21.
Goodness. Maybe you stayed in the same room.
Maybe, yes.
Behind, we have a tennis court.
Yes, always in the summer.
My
We
goodness.
played
But
tennis.
Ritz Alley also I can accept to a certain level of coincidence. But Ritz Alley 21, it's
Uh,
amazing coincidence. Okay, wonderful.
it's first is Linköping, then comes Ritz Alley, and then comes 21.
We also were the same department we studied. I
Yes.
studied energy environmental engineering, and you are studying this one. Super. So, which all countries you made friends with? Students.
Oh, because you stay in a corridor room, you have it depends on the corridor room. I had 8 rooms, people from France, Spain, Morocco, everywhere. So you get to mingle with not just them, with their culture, I would say. You will get to know
Yeah,
how they study, how they approach a problem. And we used to have corridor dinners monthly once, so we would enjoy cooking up different dishes from different countries.
super.
Really nice to get to know them. And this
Yes.
goes a long way. For example, I have few friends in France now. When I say I work for different Airbus, Boeing, or Deutsche Aircraft, they're also excited because they also studied with me. Say they're
Super.
working in different companies there. It's really good to connect on a very multinational level.
Nice. That's why, it's always good to go abroad and study. And I'm sure without your permission, I can say this, if Nikhil had an option or a time machine or something like that, he would have done his bachelor's itself in Europe without even having a second choice. Huh? Do you accept that
Yes,
or not, Nikhil?
definitely. Yeah.
Mm. Nikhil, any idea like what is the I don't know about Bangalore. I guess it will be even higher. Some top deemed universities, what is the fee structure they charge in Chennai? Do you know? Any rough guess per year fee structure?
I don't know about university, but I know about first and second standard because my aunt was complaining. It's roughly 2 lakhs or 2.5 lakhs per student. Oh
More
my
than
God.
that. Well, school scams are different. In Chennai, you want to study an artificial intelligence course, it's almost 7 lakhs per year.
Oof. Oh my God.
And people standing in queue. And all I say, people, is, you're going to join any university, no problem. Your choice, your money, your child, your choice. But ask, what are the publications these professors have done?
Mm.
And what is their educational qualification and their work experience? And is the syllabus latest or not? And does the
Yeah.
university have industrial connection or not? If they have everything, you pay 70 lakhs per year also, no problem. But even if one point is missing, immediately run away from there. Do you accept this or not, Nick?
Yes, I agree with you because it
Completely.
uh, gives a different holistic perspective when you see at it. Because them having these publications, one thing is you get inspired to read these
Yes.
papers, you get to know
Yes.
what is the research side of it also, and then apply it to the real world. And they will have experience because they have done this things.
Yes, Nikhil. And I like the word that you used here. You get inspired from these people. There was a student who used the same phrases and he said, sir, in my lifetime, if I am able to learn 2-3% of what my professor knows, I will be super happy. You know, look at the look at the look at the aura when we get and we interact with these professors. And all these professors, Nikhil, their focus is not money. Their focus is learning, teaching, exploring, and all these things. For them, money is a byproduct. They don't care much about it. They are
Yes.
interested in teaching. See, professors, I'm not telling they should not make money or all those things. Of course, they also have to, survive. But what I'm trying to say is the priority, the top priority should be their commitment to teach the young minds. And that is when, you become a real teacher, professor, or guru, whatever. So then, what was your final year project, Nikhil?
I actually did it in Hamburg in
Okay,
a company called German Aerospace Center. So it
super,
is very equivalent to how ISRO works in India. So I was
super.
very lucky in that case. The reason is again the professor thing here, which you
Mm,
linked back. So
mm.
my professor had good connections with Saab and visiting scientists. So there was one day a visiting scientist coming from Hamburg, from German Aerospace Center, giving a lecture. So me and my friend just introduced ourselves and asked for an internship and a thesis opportunity. And he never said no. He said, "Okay, you're showing interest. Please just drop a mail. I'll talk with my team and get back to you."
Super.
And it was an amazing thesis which they gave us an opportunity for.
What was the topic?
So it was on liquid hydrogen tanks on the aircrafts.
Wow.
So we
Wow.
analyze we a particular design, and then we analyze if it is what is the changes on the aircraft, what is the weight and balance, how long the range is, and stuff like that.
So liquid hydrogen as a fuel
Yes,
for the
yes,
aircrafts.
yes.
Wow. This is what I've
It-
been like reading for some time and all those things. So do you actually think, Nikhil, now this is getting more technical, do you actually think hydrogen can replace or at least take a percentage of our transport systems fuel?
I would say there is an optimistic approach. I would put it like this because there's still a lot of research going on. Because now we are in the preliminary stage where we do some design and we analyze it. So it's a long road, I would say, but I think surely it will come one day for sure.
Long road for the flights or for the automobiles?
Automobiles quicker than the flights
Yeah.
because flights we look at many safety concerns before
Of
it is
course,
there.
of course, of course.
But technology might be there, that is what I'm saying. So there are inventing technologies before it goes to an aircraft. So that is where the
Yeah,
innovation is happening now.
yeah, because Toyota, I guess the car's name is Mira. They've already launched a hydrogen car, right?
Yeah,
It's already on
yeah.
the roads. Of
Mm.
course, to the flight, it takes a lot of, because I feel hydrogen, a very good replacement more than these electric cars. I can still not understand as an energy engineer. I still don't understand the dynamics, and I don't make it. I don't find it logical in many ways. The batteries, the pollutions, and when we power these electric cars with coal-powered electric system, I feel why we do this. It's almost equal to fossil fuels. But
Yes.
hydrogen is not so. It's readily available in the nature. You know,
Mm.
all these. That's why when you said liquid hydrogen, I was really
Yeah.
surprised. Who gave this topic? You searched it or the professor gave you?
No. So when we were first introduced to the lecture, and then we went to Hamburg for it, and we were given 2 weeks to finalize our topic. So we sat down with the people working there, with the scientists, and decided, okay, there are many topics we would like to do this because we were also more into automation and design and analysis of the aircraft. So that was our main concern.
Super, super. Before I last topic of your professional life, tell me, how important it is to stay focused, because as you know, only Europe Study Center tells the student going abroad, please don't do part-time jobs. Stay focused towards the task. So I'm sure you remained very focused. That's why you were able to reach these particular positions. Kindly talk to us about that, because it's so easy to get distracted. How did you remain focused towards the task?
Uh, First thing is you have to make up your mind. Nevertheless, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna succeed. So that should be your first mindset. It's a no-go thing. So I'm doing this and I'm doing this. First thing, and the second thing is I'm not against part-time jobs. It's really good. One thing people who, okay, I would not say it financial problems. I would say people who want to make it on their own. So in Sweden, for example, I was very lucky in that case. I got a part-time job in a company. So I worked in a company as a design engineer again, in a company for 1 year with my studies. So I
Super.
also got industrial experience, also worked. So if you get opportunities like this, please do have it, because in an
Of course,
European
Nikhil.
country,
Of course, Nikhil, sorry to interrupt you. Part time, I meant all these irrelevant things, restaurant, gas
yeah,
stations, strawberry farms. That's what I mean. You know,
yeah,
you are doing part time as a as an intern in a company. Who is going to stop you? This is good for
yeah.
your studies. Yes, please.
Why I'm saying this is when you apply for a job, they already know that you have worked in a European environment. They will consider you first before some guy who doesn't have experience. You know?
Wonderful. Because yeah, so part time, Nikhil says here, related to your studies, anything is okay. Anything
Yes.
inside the university with your faculties or your laboratories is fine. But irrelevant part-time job opportunities, humble request to avoid. So
Yes.
then when did you start applying for your employment?
When I was in my thesis at the end of a few months, I would say,
Okay.
because of the market which I saw in the aviation world, so I thought let me apply and start applying for it. And yeah, couple of interviews, I got one of the companies.
Super, man. Super. So what was the first job and what was your designation?
I worked in the same company still. I worked as a design engineer in the same company. I'm still working as design engineer. For the I it's been one year, 2 months I would say now. I worked for 9 months as design engineer and now as technical manager and design engineer. So
Technical manager and a design engineer. More responsibilities to
yeah,
our young Indian engineer. Okay. You know,
they,
who
the,
studied in
the
Europe.
the thing which I saw here was one thing, work-life balance. They give full priority to that. You work after 5, it's 5. You go enjoy your other life. Maybe your partner, maybe you have other co-curricular activities, going to gym, badminton, or anything. They fully support it. And the second thing is, you show interest in growing in your career, they support it.
Yes.
Uh, so they uplift you, they give you the skill, they give you opportunities and stuff like that. So that is really important.
Yes. That's why, Nikhil, 16 years, I only send students to European Schengen countries. Single student I don't send to this UK or Ireland or other countries where usually people go, because here it's holistic. You know, they support the students left, right, and center for their upliftment, and they are also looking out for young professionals because
Yeah.
of the aging population. Wonderful. So the moment once you got your first job, which company it was, by the way?
It's called Sterling Dynamics.
Sterling
So
Dynamics.
we mostly work, it's an engineering service company. So we
Okay.
work with different airlines, aircraft manufacturers, mostly into only into aviation companies.
Super, super. So after your bachelor's, you took aeronautical, and working in an aeronautical company, it's a dream come true for any young professional like you. Mm. So,
Yes.
what sort of roles and responsibilities you have in your organization currently for your latest designation?
So they do not interviews, I would say, a talk every half year or 1 year once. So they ask, what do you look into the future? What do you want to be yourself? So that is where it came up. So I said, I would also want to grow in my career and take up roles as manager and something like that. So they started thinking and they gave me the technical manager position. So from the base, I would be a very specific, for the viewers, it might be a bit strong, but from the bid phase where you start the project and then you kick off until the final send off. So it is responsibility of mine, with
Super,
the hourly constraint, everything. So it's a really good experience you get with the
super,
whole.
super. So Linköping University played a very big part in this, right?
Yeah, very big part. Also, I'm very close to all the professors. Because they were somebody who uplifted my skills, knowledge, gave me opportunities. Because when I was in my final year, the third and fourth semester, I also got to be teaching assistant.
Super.
It improves your skill, not just you're teaching people there and correcting their lab records or lab results. When you teach, you also learn.
Learn, yeah.
It I would say magnifies it, or it improves the learning what you had done previously.
100%. Nothing like guiding the young minds with whatever we have learned. Super.
Yes.
So the moment when you called up your parents and told like, yes, I am employed in the same domain that I studied, how happy they were.
Oh, they were the happiest,
Super.
really happy, and they were also very thankful that it started with Europe Study Center,
Thank
where
you.
that's the seeding point, I would say. From there, the
Thank you.
plant grew. So really good, because recently also I published a paper with my partner
Super.
in one of the biggest aeronautical conference, and I would say
Nice.
this was not possible because if Europe Study Center had not supported, this would have not come in place.
Bro, we just
Really nice.
he just showed you this a path. Okay.
Yes.
I know it's a long path, but we are 100% sure there is light at the end of the tunnel. That's all. So, if at all you want us to give us credit, I will take 0.001 percentage. 99.9999 percentage is all your C boss. We only process admission and visa, and we guide you guys basically to avoid all the unwanted nonsenses and only stick to top public universities, whichever country, whether it's Sweden, Norway, Finland, or France or Czech Republic. Only the premier universities in that particular country. Wonderful. So, what are all the other leisure activities you do, Nikhil?
I practice for something called triathlon in my free time.
Okay.
So it's a combination of swimming, cycling, and running. So have been a big fan of that for some
Super.
time now. So going
Super.
on cycle rides, swimming, and I also play badminton in my free time for
Wonderful.
clubs. So yeah,
Wonderful.
that mostly what I do for my leisure time.
Super. It keeps you fit. It keeps your mind fresh, and it helps your thinking process. And also, I used to tell people when they are about to leave, when they get the visa and they leave, I tell them proper sleep and proper diet is important. They get surprised, sir. What? I said, like, without eating properly and without having a proper mental frame of mind, you are never going to learn all these super critical, complicated things. So we have to address everything in a holistic way so that we are super successful. Really, really, happy, looking at it. And one day or the other, if our flights run using hydrogen fuel, I'm sure you will be a part of it. You would have been a part of it.
Thank you.
Super, super. Uh, you don't have to be very specific, but any futuristic technologies that will come in the aerospace industry, that is, what do you feel?
I would say India is a big hub for eVTOL, if you know. So it's
Okay.
vertical takeoff and landing aircrafts. It's more similar to helicopters, but gives you more comfort and travel faster travel time and other things. So I think for India, it would be the most possible technology which would come up in India.
Super. Also, do you see drones being used in the transportation system?
I would say the eVTOL is more or less similar to the
Same.
drone, where
Yeah.
it's more or less vertical takeoff and landing. So
Super.
I would say drone for service-based jobs, like there are many applications of drones being used for farming, for
Yeah.
firefighters and other things. But uh, on the aviation side, I would say eVTOL for India.
eVTOL for India. Because I'm always fascinated with these drone technologies, and I also try my hand at it at whatever capacity I can. And I feel, the roads are so congested, where the skies are completely empty,
Yeah.
we just have to increase the capacity of these motors and people will fly. And as everybody knows, like Dubai is going to introduce air taxis very soon. And I'm sure like in 4 5 years, people will put their backpacks, young kids will put their backpacks and fly to their schools. I would love
Yeah,
to see that in our
that would
lifetime.
be really nice, from apartment to school directly on the air.
That's it. That's it. That's it. And I'm sure all the new upcoming, multi-storage apartments will have a small landing pad or a launch pad, whatever you call, because that's the
Yes.
way forward. Because the roads are congested. I don't want to talk about Bangalore, because you know very well, when it comes to the traffic and congestion and all these things. Super.
Yes.
So for all our day-to-day problems, only we can look up to technology,
Yeah.
to solve all these sort of issues. Wonderful. So lastly, you would like to say something before we sum up this beautiful interview?
Uh, I would like to say two things. One, for the viewers who is watching this, uh, please consider master studies if you are really motivated and want to study ahead and do it. So it's really a good thing which you can do. And Europe Study Center would be your next option for that. So it would be a wonderful, they guide you properly with the whole team. Actually, I was introduced to Sujita ma'am, Kavita ma'am, and everyone else. Thankful to them very much. And yeah, follow your passion. I would say
Thank
that.
you. Thank you. So when they also watch these interviews, they'll also be really happy. A student, pulling up their names and thanking them. Especially, you went there, studied successfully, working successfully, and progressing in your career. I feel amazing. It's a great feeling. One of the best interviews I did. Especially my own university student, Linköping, and you also stayed in the same apartment where I stayed. A lot of
That's the main
coincidences.
point. The same building.
Yeah. See, Ridsale, okay. But again, Ridsale 21, really surprising. Wonderful. So all the very best to you, Nikhil. So I'm sure, maybe after 7-8 years, we will do a part 2. That part 2 will be full of all your aviation adventures. This is again, people, Nikhil, people at school level watching these interviews. Really good,
Wow.
right? You spoke about CFD. That guy will pick up his phone and check what is CFD. That itself is a success for these interviews. We are motivating young minds to study, but of course you have to study at right place.
Yes.
Then only we get the title of the program can be very fancy, but where we study and who is going to teach us makes all the difference. Super. Thank you so much. And if at all I come to Germany or anywhere, I will surely catch up with you. Thank you so much for the interview. Best wishes to you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.